Hi, class. Just sending you a message for this week. We're officially right at the middle of the semester, so that means that we're entering midterms week. So for our class, our midterm is scheduled for, our midterm is coming up, and I wanted to send you a video on how you can best prepare for the midterm. So as you know, the midterm is timed. If you're going to be submitting the midterm electronically, for example, if you're taking my class online, just know that I have added multiple attempts. So what that means is if you try to submit your essay the first time or your midterm the first time and something weird happens, you have multiple tries. And this is just to avoid, you having to email me and ask me to let you back in. And, it's going to save us all time. So just know that if something weird happens the first time you submit, you can try again. So, for the midterm, it's really important since I'm already giving you a primary source, and a primary source is the reading or, for my English 102, the movies. The primary source is basically what the foundation of your paper is based on. And if I'm asking you a question and the question requires you to use the primary source to respond, I would suggest that to prepare for the midterm before you hit the clock to start or before you come to class physically to take the exam, what I would do is I would make sure that I can summarize the connections I see in the source or in the sources into a couple of sentences. So in my English 101 class, your primary source is Courage Over Comfort, and it's a piece written by Brene Brown. You can find this reading online for free if you Google it. So if you Google it and you want to reread it, you can read it as many times as you need to. You can take notes. So then by the time that you start the midterm, you already have all your notes and you're organized. For my English 102 class, which is the literature course, you have 2 films and a short story. So you have Dracula, and then you have A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, and then Carmilla. So what I would do, since you have 3 sources, is I would try to figure out like a way to consolidate them in a way that explains how they are all connected. Maybe in imagery, in theme, in gender representations. Try to figure out how they all connect in your mind. The next thing that I would do is I would summarize the primary source in a couple of sentences. So as you know, an introduction for an essay, which the midterm is going to require you to write an essay. In an introduction for an essay, you need an opener, you need context, and you need a thesis. So remember, I was telling you you should take the source and try to find the connection and summarize it in a sentence or two. That can be your opener. So sometimes when we're doing timed essays, because of the pressure of the clock, we get stuck on that first sentence. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you to brainstorm on how you would open up the paper before the clock starts. Then context, you would provide a summary of your primary source or your primary sources, depending on what class you're registered for with me. And then finally, just a reminder that the thesis statement goes at the end of the introduction being the first paragraph of an essay. And the thesis is supposed to answer the question explicitly. Answer the question that I am posing in the exam. So you will have an exam question that you will know what it is once you open up your exam and the clock starts running. And your job is to answer that question while using examples from the primary source to back up your answer. So, for example, in my English 101 class, we talked a little bit about pulling out golden lines or quotes that stood out to us. For the English 102 Lit class, I gave you a list of inquiry questions when you were watching the films last week. So that you know what you need to focus on. And if you're able to focus on those things and point to specific moments in the films, that's going to really help you a lot. So study. I encourage it. Study. If you're taking my class in person, you know that you can use all of your notes, including any lecture notes that we've discussed or that you've taken in class for previous weeks. Also, pay very close attention to structure and paragraph format. We've been practicing all semester long. You all have been doing really great. I can see an improvement, everybody getting better and better over time. So that's great. So continue to practice that. I want to make sure that you know that's another way that I will be measuring your grade for the midterm. Let's see what else. By now, I should have responded to everybody's messages. If I haven't responded to your message, can you please send me a follow-up email? I was out for a little bit, and again, I want to thank everybody that sent me get well wishes. It really helped a lot. So if I haven't responded to you yet, it might be some type of oversight on my end. So please, if you could send me a follow-up message, I would greatly appreciate it. For those of you that have been emailing me, asking me about extra credit and rewrites and late work and all that stuff, it's very important that you talk to me. I have office hours on Tuesdays that start at 2 p.m. If Tuesdays at 2 p.m., I think I last time I stayed there until like 5:30, I want to say. But if you can't meet on Tuesday between those times, then reach out and let me know, and we can book a time when we can meet. And that's not to say that that you can't, submit work after the deadline or anything like that. But I do want to know specifically what you need to do to pass the class. And I think that I can really only give you that type of advice if we have a conversation about it. So again, if you are having questions about extra credit or rewrites or late work, jump into office hours. My office hours are on Tuesdays from 2 to 5. And then I also have office hours that I can schedule if Tuesdays between 2 and 5 don't work for you. Remember that spring break starts on March 31st. That's this upcoming Thursday. And it goes all the way to Friday, April 8th. So that means that there will be no class. So you'll notice that when you go to your Canvas shell, you shouldn't have any assignments due during that time because you're officially on spring break. Okay, I hope I covered everything I wanted to cover with you. But if there are any remaining questions after this video, of course, just hit me up, send me a message, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, everybody, it's week 8. We're at the halfway mark. Just hold on. Just keep going. We're almost there.